The Galactic Laughter. The Galactic Broadcast Network, GBN, was the most watched channel in the galaxy, streaming entertainment, news, and commentary across countless star systems. Tonight's feature program was a comedy special hosted by the Arcturians, a species known for their sharp wit and intellectual superiority. The show's title, Primitive Pleasures, a look at human entertainment. In a massive hall on the Arcturian homeworld, thousands of aliens gathered to watch the event live. The stage was bright with holograms of Earth's greatest movies. Clips from iconic human films floated in the air, frozen mid-action. One showed a space battle with outdated starships. Another depicted a heartfelt love story between two humans. The host, Krelax, a tall, silver-skinned Arcturian with gleaming eyes, took center stage. He smirked, his tone dripping with mockery. Ladies and gentle beings of the galaxy, I present to you the creative genius of Earth. The audience erupted in laughter as a clip from a human science fiction movie began to play. It showed a brave human captain giving a passionate speech before leading his crew into battle. The dramatic music swelled, and the captain declared, "We fight for freedom and the future of humanity." The aliens howled with laughter, some clutching their sides. Such melodrama, Krelax mocked. Do humans think these speeches actually inspire anyone? Another clip appeared, this time from a romantic movie. A man stood in the rain, confessing his love to a woman. The audience jeered and chuckled. Oh, the rain. Such a cliché. Krelax teased, pretending to wipe a fake tear. Back on Earth, the broadcast was being watched by billions. In a small apartment in New York City, Maya Carter sat glued to the screen, her jaw tight with anger. Maya was a filmmaker, and watching the Arcturians tear apart humanity's creativity felt personal. They don't understand us, Maya muttered to herself. They don't see the heart behind our stories. The broadcast continued. Krelax leaned forward, addressing the audience. You see, my friends, humans are amusing. They think their little tales of bravery and love are profound. But to us, they are nothing more than child's play. Simple, predictable, and utterly primitive. The audience roared in agreement, and Krelax waved his hand. Let's not be too harsh, he said, his voice dripping with fake sympathy. After all, humans are still evolving. Perhaps in a few millennia, they'll create something worth watching. The camera panned across the alien audience, showing a variety of species laughing at Earth's expense. A towering Krindor beast slapped its massive claws together in applause. A group of shimmering vextral beings chattered in high-pitched squeals, their version of laughter. Maya's hands clenched into fists. The Arcturian's words echoed in her mind. Primitive, child's play, predictable. She turned off the broadcast and stared at her reflection in the window. The city lights twinkled in the distance, but her focus was elsewhere. Maya wasn't just angry, she was inspired. They think they're better than us, she whispered. They don't know the depth of our stories, the emotions that connect us, the struggles that define us. Maya's mind raced. What if humanity could prove them wrong? What if there was a way to show the galaxy that Earth's stories were more than just entertainment? She grabbed a notebook and began to write. Ideas flowed onto the page, each one more daring than the last. A story for the galaxy, she murmured. Something they can't laugh at. Something they'll never forget. The galactic broadcast ended with a final jab at humanity. Krelax waved goodbye to his audience. Thank you for joining us tonight. And remember, if you're ever feeling down, just watch a human movie. It's guaranteed to make you laugh. The alien audience erupted in applause, but far away, on a small blue planet, Maya Carter was planning something extraordinary. Humanity wouldn't stay the galaxy's joke for long. A vision born. The next morning, Maya Carter sat in her modest apartment, surrounded by papers, sketches, and scribbled notes. Her coffee had gone cold, untouched as her mind raced with ideas. Her late-night brainstorm had turned into a full-fledged mission. She was going to make a movie that the galaxy wouldn't just watch, it would feel. But the question loomed, where would she even start? Maya flipped through a stack of classic human stories. There were epics of love and sacrifice, tales of exploration and survival, and myths that had stood the test of time. "Our stories have heart," she muttered, tapping her pen against her temple. "We just need to show them in a way they can't ignore." She knew this project was bigger than anything she'd attempted before. It wasn't just about proving the aliens wrong. It was about showing humanity's soul to the universe. Determined, Maya reached out to a few trusted friends, writers, directors, and visual effects artists. She called her old mentor, Professor Alan Rice, a retired historian who had spent his career studying the power of storytelling across cultures. "Maya," Professor Rice said, his voice crackling over the call, "you're talking about a universal story, something that can resonate with beings who don't think, feel, or even perceive the world the way we do." "Exactly," Maya replied. "It needs to be bigger than just Earth. It has to speak to every corner of the galaxy." Rice chuckled. "Ambitious, but if anyone can pull it off, it's you. I'll help in any way I can." Within days, Maya had assembled a small but passionate team. There was Ravi, a genius in virtual reality who could bring impossible worlds to life. Elena, a writer with a gift for weaving emotion into every line. And Darius, a composer who had worked on Earth's most moving symphonies. Their first meeting was held in a dimly lit studio that still smelled of paint and sawdust. Maya stood at the front, her energy electric. "We're not just making a movie," she began. "We're telling a story that will redefine how the galaxy sees us. They think we're primitive. We'll show them that our creativity is our greatest strength." The team exchanged glances. The task ahead was monumental, but Maya's passion was contagious. Elena raised a hand. "Where do we start?" "With the core of every great story," Maya replied. "Emotion. Fear, hope, love, sacrifice. These are things every being, human or alien, can understand." Ravi leaned forward. "But how do we make aliens, with completely different experiences, relate to our stories?" Maya smiled. "By focusing on what connects us. Struggles for survival, the need to protect loved ones, the pursuit of meaning. These are universal." The team dove into brainstorming. They debated themes, characters, and settings. Should the story focus on a lone explorer in a hostile galaxy, or a community overcoming impossible odds? Could they weave in elements of Earth's history to showcase humanity's resilience? As ideas flowed, so did challenges. Ravi pointed out that the visual effects alone would require technology Earth didn't fully have. Darius worried about creating music that would resonate with alien species who might not even hear sound the way humans did. Maya faced these doubts with unwavering determination. "If it's hard, it means we're doing something right," she said. "The Arcturians may have more advanced technology, but they don't have what we have, the ability to dream beyond our limits." The turning point came when Professor Reyes suggested an ancient Earth myth as the backbone of their story. A tale of a hero who sacrifices everything to bring peace to warring nations. "It's simple, but timeless," Reyes said. "And it's the kind of story that can transcend cultural boundaries." The team agreed, and the outline for the film began to take shape. It would be a sweeping epic blending elements of Earth's greatest myths with a futuristic setting that reflected the galaxy's diversity. As the sun set on the studio, Maya looked around at her team. Exhausted but energized, they were ready to take the first steps on a journey that could change humanity's place in the galaxy. Maya picked up a marker and wrote 3 words on the whiteboard. "For all beings." "This isn't just for us," she said, her voice steady. "It's for everyone who's ever been underestimated. It's for everyone who believes in the power of stories." The team cheered, and for the first time in days, Maya allowed herself a small smile. The vision was born. Now, it was time to bring it to life. Crafting the masterpiece, the studio was alive with energy. Desks were piled with storyboards, concept art, and digital renderings of alien worlds. Maya's team worked tirelessly, their passion transforming her vision into reality. The story was taking shape, a tale of a lone hero who sacrifices everything to unite a fractured galaxy. Ravi, the tech wizard, was in his element. His lab was filled with holographic projections of alien landscapes, each more breathtaking than the last. Using Earth's most advanced virtual reality tools, he created environments that felt tangible, from the shimmering oceans of a distant moon to a sprawling city suspended in the clouds. "This has to be immersive," Ravi said, adjusting a holographic mountain range. "If the Arcturians feel like they're walking in our heroes' shoes, we've won half the battle." Elena, the writer, sat hunched over her keyboard, her brow furrowed in concentration. Every word she wrote was carefully chosen to evoke deep emotion. The hero's journey was universal, but she knew the dialogue had to resonate even with species that didn't think or feel like humans. "How do you describe grief to beings who don't cry?" she wondered aloud, tapping her fingers on the desk. "You show them," Maya said, looking over Elena's shoulder. "Make them feel the weight of the loss, even if they don't experience it the same way we do." Elena nodded and got back to work, weaving a scene where the hero loses their closest companion. The sacrifice wasn't just tragic, it was meaningful, a turning point that would resonate with any audience. Meanwhile, Darius, the composer, struggled with his own challenge. "Alien species don't even hear sound the same way," he said, staring at a complex wave of frequencies on his screen. "Then let's create music they can feel," Maya suggested. "Vibrations, rhythms, something that transcends sound." Darius experimented tirelessly, blending Earth's symphonic traditions with alien tones. He used deep, resonating bass for species that felt sound through their bodies and high-pitched harmonics for those with advanced auditory ranges. Slowly, the film's score began to take form, haunting, beautiful, and unlike anything created before. As the weeks turned into months, the team faced obstacle after obstacle. Funding was a constant struggle. Investors balked at the idea of pouring resources into a project they believed would fail. Maya used every ounce of her charisma to convince them otherwise. "Let the aliens laugh now," she told one skeptical investor. "When they see this, they won't just stop laughing. They'll never forget us." Even the alien ambassador, Valtrex, made an uninvited visit to the studio. His sleek, silver form glided through the room as his piercing eyes scanned their work. "So, this is humanity's grand attempt to impress the galaxy," Valtrex said, his tone dripping with skepticism. "I hope you're prepared for another round of ridicule." Maya met his gaze without flinching. "We'll see who's laughing when this is done," she replied. Valtrex smirked and left, his doubt lingering in the air. The team worked harder after his visit, channeling their frustration into their craft. One of the biggest breakthroughs came when Maya decided to include snippets of real human history in the film. Images of Earth's triumphs and tragedies, landing on the moon, surviving wars, rebuilding after disasters, were woven into the narrative. "Let them see who we are," Maya said. "Not just our imagination, but our resilience. Let them see that our stories come from lived experiences." The final days of production were a blur. The team barely slept, fine-tuning every detail. The film's visuals were stunning, its music powerful, and its story raw and emotional. As the last scene was rendered and the credits rolled for the first time, the team gathered in the studio's small screening room. Maya sat at the front, her heart pounding. This was it, the culmination of months of work, of dreams and determination. As the lights dimmed and the screen lit up, a hush fell over the room. By the end of the film, there wasn't a dry eye in the house. Even Ravi, the self-proclaimed tough guy, wiped away a tear. Maya stood, her voice steady despite the lump in her throat. "This is more than a movie. It's a message. And now, it's time to deliver it to the galaxy." The Galactic premiere. The Grand Hall of the Arcturian Arts Nexus was buzzing with anticipation. It was the most prestigious venue in the galaxy, reserved for only the finest cultural works. Tonight, it was packed with beings from across star systems, their voices blending into a low hum of curiosity and skepticism. The announcement of Earth's groundbreaking cinematic debut had sparked a storm of interest. Some aliens came expecting to be entertained, others to mock, and a few out of genuine curiosity. Among them was Krelax, the same Arcturian host who had ridiculed human films months earlier. He lounged in the VIP section, his silver skin gleaming under the lights, his expression smug. "Humans," Krelax said to the dignitary beside him, "always trying so hard to prove themselves. I wonder if this will be as amusing as their last attempts." At the center of it all, Maya Carter stood backstage with her team. The past weeks had been a whirlwind of last-minute edits and diplomatic negotiations to secure this venue. Maya's heart raced, but she kept her face calm. "This is it," she said, looking at her crew. "They've laughed at us, doubted us, called us primitive. But tonight, they'll see who we really are." Ravi adjusted his holo-projector nervously. "You think they'll actually get it?" "They will," Alina said firmly. "The story speaks for itself." The lights dimmed, and the crowd grew silent. A towering hologram of the Arcturian announcer appeared on stage, his voice echoing through the hall. "Beings of the galaxy," he said, "tonight we present a work from a species known for their spirited creativity. Let us welcome the humans and their first contribution to the galactic cultural archive. For all beings." Polite applause rippled through the audience, but there was an undercurrent of skepticism. As the film began, the first few minutes showed sweeping visuals of alien worlds, places familiar to many in the audience. The detail was so vivid, it drew gasps. Then came the story. A lone hero navigating a galaxy on the brink of collapse. The narrative unfolded with a raw emotional intensity that caught the audience off guard. They watched as the hero faced impossible choices, sacrificing personal happiness for the greater good. They saw glimpses of Earth's history woven into the story, humanity's struggles, triumphs, and unyielding spirit. The music, a haunting blend of Earth's symphonic traditions and alien harmonics, resonated through the hall. For species that didn't hear sound, the vibrations created an equally powerful effect. Krelax leaned forward in his seat, his smug expression fading. The emotions on the screen, loss, love, hope, were undeniable. For the first time, he wasn't laughing. When the hero made their ultimate sacrifice, the room was silent. Even beings who didn't experience emotions in the same way seemed moved. A Vextral ambassador, known for their stoic demeanor, blinked rapidly, a sign of deep contemplation. Backstage, Maya watched the audience's reactions on a monitor. Her breath caught as she saw even the most skeptical faces soften. By the time the film ended, the hall was utterly still. The final scene, a quiet, hopeful moment where the galaxy begins to heal, lingered on the screen. The silence stretched for a few heartbeats before the first sound broke it. Applause. It started slow, then grew, swelling into a thunderous ovation. Some beings stood, their appendages clapping or glowing in approval. Others emitted resonant hums, their species' version of cheers. Maya and her team stepped onto the stage. The applause grew louder as the audience saw the creators behind the masterpiece. Krelax, still seated, stared at Maya, his expression unreadable. Finally, he stood, joining the standing ovation. For the first time, his words carried no mockery. "Impressive," he murmured, almost to himself. Maya took the microphone, her voice steady despite the lump in her throat. "This isn't just a story about us," she said. "It's about all of us. Our struggles, our hopes, our dreams. Stories are what connect us, no matter where we come from." The applause surged again, and for the first time in galactic history, humanity wasn't a joke. They were the stars of the evening. The ripple effect. In the days following the premiere, the entire galaxy was abuzz with discussions of the human film. It spread like wildfire across news networks and holographic forums. Even the most cynical species couldn't deny the impact it had made. The Arcturian Galactic Review, known for its harsh criticism, had published a glowing report, calling for all beings the most emotionally complex work ever seen from a primitive species. Krelax, who had once mocked human entertainment, found himself in the middle of an unexpected debate with his colleagues. "They didn't just create a film," he said during a broadcast. "They created a connection. And that, my friends, is dangerous." His words sent a chill through the galaxy. Some species, previously neutral or indifferent toward humans, began to take a deeper interest. They watched the film again, and for the first time, they saw not just the primitive elements, but the depth of humanity's creativity, its resilience, and its potential. On Earth, Maya's life was changed forever. Her phone buzzed nonstop with messages from producers, galactic diplomats, and curious scientists. Invitations to speak at galactic conferences flooded in. The media hailed her as a visionary, someone who had bridged the vast gaps between species with nothing more than a story. But it wasn't all praise. Some factions still viewed humanity with suspicion. The Zorathians, a powerful and militaristic race, issued a public statement warning that the film's themes of unity and sacrifice might inspire rebellion among the less enlightened species. Maya, undeterred, remained focused. She knew the film had done more than just entertain. It had planted a seed. The question now was, what would humanity do with it? At a secret meeting on Earth, Maya and her team gathered to discuss their next steps. They sat around a large table, the weight of their newfound responsibility hanging in the air. "Everyone's talking about the film," Ravi said. "Some are praising it. Others are wary. We've caused a stir." Elena nodded. "We've shown the galaxy what humanity is capable of. But we can't stop here. This is only the beginning." Darius, who had been silent for much of the conversation, finally spoke. "We need to prove that this isn't just a fluke. We need to create more stories, films, media that show humanity's true potential, not just to entertain, but to challenge, to inspire, and to change the galaxy for good." Maya looked at her team, her heart swelling with pride. "We've proven we belong in the galaxy. Now, it's up to us to shape the future. If the galaxy can see the best of humanity, maybe, just maybe, they'll start to believe in us." As the days passed, the film's ripple effect only grew. Planets once indifferent to Earth's presence now sought out collaboration, eager to work with the humans who had captured the hearts of so many. Earth's technologies, once dismissed as crude, were now seen in a new light. There were talks of trade, cultural exchange, and even alliances that had once seemed impossible. The film had done more than create a connection between humans and aliens. It had opened the door to a new era of galactic cooperation. Maya received a special invitation from the Galactic Council, a meeting of the most powerful species in the universe. The Council was curious to see if humanity's sudden rise was a fluke or the beginning of something much larger. Maya knew that her work was far from over. As she prepared for her journey to the Council, she gathered her team once more. "We've done something no one thought possible," she said, her voice strong. "But we can't stop now. We've proven that humanity has the potential to change the galaxy. We need to be ready for what's next." Ravi raised an eyebrow. "And what's next?" Maya smiled, her eyes gleaming with determination. "We show them that we're not just storytellers. We're creators, innovators. The galaxy has seen what we can do. Now, it's time to show them what we can build." As they walked out of the meeting room, the future was uncertain, but one thing was clear. Humanity had crossed a line in the sand. They were no longer just a joke. They had the galaxy's attention, and they were ready to take their place among the stars. The Council's test. The sleek, towering structure of the Galactic Council's headquarters loomed before Maya and her team as their ship docked on the designated platform. The building, a blend of ancient architecture and cutting-edge technology, stretched high into the sky, its surface shimmering with the light of 1,000 distant stars. Maya took a deep breath, trying to steady her nerves. This was it, the meeting that could change everything. The council, composed of the most powerful and influential species in the galaxy, was an elite group that had never taken humans seriously. Until now, Maya had been invited as Earth's representative, the first human to stand before this powerful assembly. As she stepped off the ship, she was greeted by a pair of Zorathian soldiers, their imposing forms a stark reminder of the race's militaristic nature. They said nothing but led her to a large, circular chamber at the heart of the building. The walls were adorned with holographic symbols representing the various member species, and at the center of the room, a giant table sat, surrounded by alien representatives. Maya's team entered behind her, their steps measured. Ravi, Elena, and Darius stayed close, though they knew their role was secondary. This was Maya's moment, and they all understood the weight of what was at stake. At the head of the table sat Ambassador Tikri, the Arcturian representative, his cold, calculating eyes fixed on Maya as she entered. The air in the room was thick with tension, the quiet hum of energy circulating through the chamber adding to the atmosphere of anticipation. Maya Carter of Earth. Tikri's voice boomed. Your species has made quite an impression with your film. For many, it was a revelation. But words are easy, and images are fleeting. What proof do you have that humanity's place in the galaxy is more than just a passing novelty? The question hit like a blow to the stomach. Maya didn't flinch. She had been prepared for this. The entire galaxy was watching, and this was the moment she had to show them all that humanity wasn't just a flash in the pan. They were here to stay. Ambassador Tikri, Maya began, her voice steady. The film was just a glimpse into who we are. It's a story, yes, but it's also a message. It's about hope. It's about sacrifice. We've built societies, fought wars, and faced unimaginable odds to get to where we are today. Our story is just beginning, but we have a history of overcoming obstacles that no one thought we could. Kree's eyes narrowed. You speak of your history, but what does your future hold? Will your people be able to adapt to the demands of galactic diplomacy, trade, and collaboration? Or will your primitive instincts bring about chaos? There it was, the question that had haunted humanity's attempts to join the galaxy's elite. Could they truly integrate into a society that had been operating for millennia, with species far more advanced and experienced? Maya's mind raced. She glanced at her team, then at the faces of the other council members. They were watching her intently, their expressions a mix of curiosity and judgment. Some were open, intrigued by her words, while others, like the Zorathians, were skeptical at best. Our film, Maya continued, was a statement, but it wasn't the only thing we've done. Our technologies have evolved rapidly. We've cured diseases that once decimated our people, and we've reached beyond our own planet to explore the stars. And that's just the beginning. Humanity has a drive to innovate, to collaborate, and to improve. Ravi stepped forward slightly, his voice cutting through the silence. We're not asking for a handout. We want to build relationships based on mutual respect and shared goals. We understand we have a long way to go, but we're willing to learn. And we're ready to contribute. Elena added, this is not about us proving something to you. This is about what we can do together, as equals. We've seen what unity can accomplish. Our film was a symbol of that. The council members exchanged glances, some more skeptical than others. Tikri leaned back in his chair, clearly weighing their words. Your passion is commendable, Maya Carter, he said at last, his voice even. But we must test your people further before we make any decisions. A tense silence followed. Maya's stomach clenched. She had expected this. The council wouldn't simply accept Earth's bid for inclusion without some form of challenge. The Zorathians will conduct an evaluation of your species, Tikri announced. A test, if you will. If humanity proves itself capable in the face of this challenge, we will consider your place among the stars. Fail, and the opportunity will be revoked. Maya took a breath, her heart pounding. What is this test? Ambassador Krelax, now seated at the table, smiled darkly. You will demonstrate your ability to work as a cohesive unit with the galaxy's most advanced species. We will place you in a simulated crisis scenario, one that will test your strategic thinking, your ability to negotiate, and most importantly, your ability to act under pressure. Maya's mind whirred. This was it, the moment she had been dreading. But she couldn't back down now. She had to show them that humanity could thrive, even in the most intense circumstances. We accept, Maya said, her voice unwavering. The council members exchanged another round of glances. A murmur rippled through the room as they prepared for what was to come. The test would not be easy, but Maya had never been more determined. This was humanity's moment to prove their worth, not just to the galaxy, but to themselves. The final challenge. The chamber was quiet except for the soft hum of energy flowing through the walls. Maya stood at the center, her team behind her, facing the vast screen that stretched across the far side of the room. The tension in the air was palpable. This was the moment they had prepared for, the test that would determine if humanity had a place among the stars, or if their chance would slip away. Ambassador Takri's voice echoed through the room. The simulation will begin shortly. This will test your species' ability to respond to a galactic crisis. You will have 24 hours to resolve the situation. Fail, and humanity will be excluded from future galactic cooperation. Succeed, and the galaxy will recognize your potential. Maya's stomach twisted. The pressure was immense. It wasn't just her future on the line. It was the future of every human being. But there was no turning back now. The screen in front of them flickered to life, displaying a complex holographic map of a distant star system. At its core was a massive, unstable star, its energy output rapidly increasing. This star is about to go supernova, Takri explained. If it does, the shockwave will devastate not only the nearby systems, but potentially destabilize the entire sector. You must find a way to prevent this catastrophe. The Zorathian representative, watching with keen interest, added, You will be working alongside some of the most advanced species in the galaxy. You will need to negotiate, strategize, and act with precision. There is no room for error. Maya's heart pounded. Her mind raced, running through every strategy and tactic they had practiced in simulations on Earth, but nothing had prepared her for this scale. The fate of an entire sector of the galaxy rested on their shoulders. Your first task, Takri continued, is to assess the situation and decide whether to attempt to stabilize the star or find a way to relocate the affected species. Maya looked at her team. They were ready. At least, they hoped they were. Ravi's eyes were wide, his hands hovering over a holographic console. Belina's expression was calm, though her fingers tapped nervously against her sleeve. Darius stood tall, but there was a flicker of uncertainty in his gaze. We need to think quickly, Maya said, her voice steady despite the pounding in her chest. We have to make contact with the closest species and see if they have any knowledge of the star. We can't waste time. Ravi nodded, quickly initiating a communication channel with the Vextril, a race known for their advanced science and technology. Vextril, we need your assistance. We have an unstable star threatening multiple systems. Can you provide any information on its structure? The Vextril ambassador's hologram flickered to life, his race's cold, calculating eyes fixed on them as he spoke. We have the data. The star is collapsing due to an unknown cosmic phenomenon. Any attempts to stabilize it with conventional methods will be futile. Maya's mind whirled. Then we must evacuate the affected planets, she said, turning to her team. But we need to do it fast. The Zorathians, always eager to test others' mettle, had remained silent until now. Their ambassador, a towering figure of muscle and authority, finally spoke. You cannot simply evacuate the planets. The shockwave from the supernova will come far too fast. You must act decisively. Maya knew that the Zorathians were testing their ability to make hard choices. The evacuation wouldn't be enough. They needed a more drastic solution. Alina, Darius, start calculating the precise trajectory of the shockwave, Maya ordered. We need to know which planets are in the most immediate danger. As her team worked, Maya turned back to the Vextril. We need more advanced technology. What can you offer? The Vextril ambassador hesitated. We have an experimental technology, a gravitational field generator that could potentially divert the star's energy output. However, it's untested, and we cannot guarantee its success. Maya's mind raced. The risks were enormous, but there were no other options. The gravity of the situation was clear. They either took the risk or watched countless lives be wiped out. We'll take it, Maya said firmly. The next few hours passed in a blur of activity. The team worked tirelessly, interfacing with species from across the galaxy. Every calculation was precise, every decision critical. As the clock ticked down, tensions rose. Finally, the Vextril's gravitational field generator was ready. The operation to install it at the heart of the star began. Maya and her team watched the holographic map as the massive machine's energy began to flow toward the star. The screen flickered. The tension was unbearable. They were seconds away from a potential disaster or an incredible victory. Then the star's energy output began to stabilize. Slowly, the chaotic, pulsing light began to calm, and the danger of the supernova faded. The shockwave that had once threatened to destroy the entire sector dissipated, contained by the gravitational field. The room erupted in a stunned silence. Maya looked at her team, relief flooding through her. They had done it. Kree's voice broke the silence. Humanity has passed the test. Your people have shown that you can think strategically, work under pressure, and most importantly, collaborate with others for the greater good. Ambassador Krelak stood, his expression unreadable. Then, in a rare moment of genuine admiration, he nodded. You've earned your place among us, Maya Carter. Humanity has a future in the galaxy. Maya exhaled, her heart still racing. They had done it. They had proven that humanity was more than just a story. They were players in the grand galactic game. As Maya and her team left the chamber, the weight of the moment hit her. They had passed the test, but their journey had only just begun. The galaxy had seen what humanity was capable of, and now there was no turning back. Humanity's future was no longer uncertain. It was bright, and for the first time, they were ready to stand among the stars, their story just beginning.